Edgar had always avoided cemeteries. Even as a child, the thought of graveyards made his skin crawl. He knew it was irrational, everyone dies eventually, he'd tell himself, but the idea of burial terrified him. He couldn't shake the image of being trapped, awake, 6 feet underground. After his grandmother passed, Edgar had no choice but to attend her funeral. His mother insisted he go to pay his respects, so he went, his anxiety climbing with each step toward the graveyard. Standing by the open grave, he felt the air thickening, pressing on him. As the coffin was lowered, his heart raced, his mind churning with images of waking up in that dark, silent space, unable to scream, unable to move. By the time the service ended, he was sweating and shaky, eager to leave, but as he turned to go, he stumbled, tripping on an uneven patch of ground. Edgar fell forward, landing hard against the lid of a nearby coffin that had just been lowered but not yet covered. The impact left him dazed, and before he could react, the workers mistook his presence for an accident and hastily closed the lid. Edgar's world went dark. He thrashed and screamed, but his voice was muffled, his fists pounding against the wood. Panic surged as he felt the vibrations of dirt being shoveled onto the coffin. He screamed, begging to be heard, but each cry was swallowed by the layers of earth piling over him. Minutes passed, then hours. Exhausted and hoarse, Edgar lay in silence, terror filling every inch of his mind. He remembered stories of people buried alive, scratching their fingers raw against the lid of a coffin. The air grew thin, and he began gasping, trying to hold on to what little oxygen he had left. Just as he was slipping into darkness, he felt the coffin shudder. Light flooded in as someone pried the lid open, and he saw the horrified faces of the gravediggers staring down at him. They pulled him up, apologizing, but Edgar barely heard them. He staggered away, his mind reeling, unable to believe he had come so close to his worst fear. Days later, Edgar found himself avoiding sleep, haunted by the feeling of earth pressing in around him. The darkness, the silence. He would never enter a graveyard again, but he also knew he would never escape the horror that lingered, filling every quiet moment with the memory of the grave he'd barely escaped.